Hi all, this is Systemshark bringing to you an audio commentary for WCReplays.com. This audio commentary is copyrighted 2006, WCReplays.com, so don't go stealing it. Today I'm going to do an audio commentary on a game that I played. I'm actually not one of the best players in the world, as some of the other commentators are. I'm not high ranked on the ladder or anything like that, and my micro's not that great, and neither is my macro, so don't be impressed by my game, guys. But I did want to show you this game. It's a game that I actually lost, so there, I spoiled it for you guys. This game I lost. The reason I'm showing you this game is so I can go over with you guys the way to critique your games. After I play a game, usually after I lose a game, I'll critique the game. I'll rewatch the replay once, sometimes twice or more, and I'll write down in a text document the good and bad things that I think I did that game. And afterwards I'll kind of review it, and then I'll play another game directly after that, usually, if I can, to kind of see if having all those mistakes fresh in my mind helps me in my gameplay, helps me improve my game. So if you guys don't do that, maybe it's something you guys can think another thing to do. It's another facet if you're into Warcraft, into improving your game anyway. Then critiquing your game is kind of a next logical step. Most people do this in their head by themselves, but I can't do it in my head, so I write it all in a text document, or I get a pen and paper and write all my mistakes. So while I'm talking and jibber-jabbing over here, get the replay that I included in the zip file synced up at the 2-minute mark at the 1x speed. Do the replay. It's going to be orc v orc mirror. It's going to be the A section, because I'm actually going to do 2 replays for you. Right after this replay, that I do after critiquing it, I'm going to do a live audio commentary for you on a ladder game. I got the replay synced up at the 2-minute mark at the 1x speed. Orc v Orc Mirror on Tyrannus Strand. Yep. I got fog aware off. I think you guys should keep it off. Keep it off for this game. You don't necessarily need to see what I'm seeing or what he's seeing. Better yet to see what we're both seeing at the same time, so you can see so I can see what my opponent's doing maybe better than I am. Go ahead and get the replay on pause. We're going to do it here in 5 seconds. Ready? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, unpause. So my opponent went a Tauren Chieftain first build with a later altar that you would have seen if we started it from the beginning, but you can actually see that now because his hero's taken is only halfway done while my hero's out and already running to his base. So I went Farseer first, he went Tauren Chieftain first. The last few Orc v Orc mirrors I've been playing, actually they've been going Tauren Chieftain first, and I'm trying to figure out the best way to deal with it, so I actually made a post on the WCR forums to figure out what other players are thinking about it, which is something you guys can do too if you're coming up with a strategy that you're kind of unfamiliar with or how to play against. Post on the forums. Maybe some of the pros or the audio commentators that are better than me could give you some advice on it, or other players too that have experience with it. So this game I opted for a really aggressive approach with my Farseer. Normally I don't do this. Normally I'm a creeping type player and I'll creep and that's what I'll do, but I'm trying to work on my micro here. So what you're supposed to be doing when you harass with your Farseer and you bring your grunts along is focus fire on weak grunts. So that's what I'm trying to do, is focus fire on the weak grunts. But he's doing a good job of actually focus firing on my wolves. And since wolves are summons, they'll go away eventually. It's actually a really good idea, and they go down easier than grunts. It's a good idea for him to be focus firing on my grunts. What I should be doing is microing my grunts out of the way. You'll notice immediately as soon as the wolves come out, he starts hitting them down with all his grunts in Tauren Chieftain. He's gotten maybe 2 wolf kills already, which has given him half to level 1. I'm still not even 1 experience. I haven't killed anything yet. And I'm trying to micro my wolves out. It's something I'm still practicing, learning how to do. If you don't do it with your Farseer yet, that's definitely something you should be trying to do. For a while, I never did it. So anyway, I'm not a really good micro player, as you can see here. I'm trying to not get my Farseer surrounded, and he's doing a good job of trying to move and get units surrounded. Did a little trick tactic right there, trying to get my grunt surrounded by the trees. Again, I'm summoning my wolves here, and I'm really not paying attention. I need to be moving those out. I know I moved the full HP one out. Look at that, Mistake number 1 there. So that's one of the mistakes I've made, is not microing out the wolves. And it's something I wrote down in my critique after this game to try to work on a little bit better. Although in this game, I actually microed them out better than I do on more of my other games, which is why I even think it's a good idea to show you guys. Alright, now this whole time that I'm interacting with my opponent here at his base, near his base, I need to be doing stuff at my base. I need to be teching and actually just started my tech. His is actually a little bit ahead of mine. I don't know, it's about the same. So we're teching at a good time, that's alright. And building burrows and just keep your income moving. Right now I've got 530 gold and I'm waiting on a burrow to start doing my producing more grunts. I should have built that burrow a lot earlier. I had the resource to do it, I just didn't do it. So yeah, basically fed my opponent's Tauren Chieftain 3/4 of the way to level 2 there, and I'm still not anywhere into my level, and my tech's like halfway through. Generally, I like to be almost level 3 by the time my tech finishes. So I noticed out of the corner of my eye that he was using the healing salve, so I tried to get in there and knock a few of his grunts so he would have to recast it. He's got really good base placement and or burrow placement, which is his base design here. Compared to my base, it's not very good. You see his burrows are near his tree peons right there, and he's also got one near his altar there. This is going to make any type of early push or attack on his burrows, or even attack on his outside buildings. They're all in range of his burrows, so any early game kind of hits are going to be foiled relatively easily by him. Alright, so I noticed that my harass and my little interactions weren't going so great here, so I decided to start creeping here. This camp looks like an easy camp to creep on this map, but because of the slow, it actually is a relatively difficult camp to creep. Not only during the creeping for that, but actually afterwards, because that slow lasts on you for so long, just going over to the other creep camp, which again is the same type with the slow Geomancer, takes a long time to creep, and you don't get a lot of experience for it. The drops are kind of cool though. I got a Tome of Intelligence and a Tome of Health. You know, nothing wrong with more int and HPs on a Farseer. But now my opponents got to creep out a more XP giving camp at the Goblin Merchant there. God, did I leave that Tome of Intelligence? No, I go back for it. That's good. I was going to say, mistake number 2 right there. Anyway, I'm at tier 2 now. I research pillage. I don't know if many orc players do that, but generally after a tier 2 push, you're going to bring your grunts and raiders and stuff with you. So researching pillage is such a cheap upgrade, and you get resources for it. I don't know. I don't see pros doing it. Maybe it's just something I do. You get resources when you hit their buildings, and you're going to be attacking them anyway, so why not, do a preemptive research, among other things. It's not that, it's like 75 gold and then 25 wood, I think. So he's got 2 bestiaries going up, and I only have 1. I don't know why I only have 1. I think the reasoning behind it was because I'm going a secondary hero with my Shadow Hunter, and he's not, so he's got resources that he can spend in other places, i.e. putting up a second bestiary. Normally in games I play, especially versus other races, I put up the second bestiary too, just because it's easier to get the raiders and maybe late wyverns out, and maybe to quickly pump out Kodos if you need them. Just 2 bestiaries is better than 1. Man, this one I got so lucky on. These shockwaves, I got so many red HP grunts, I immediately start to TP. I finish off the creep set and I lose. I didn't pick up the Cloak of Shadows, but neither does he. He decides that right after me TPing, I would still have a lot of low HP grunts, and that he's got more than enough mana for a shockwave, that he's going to come in now and try to finish off some grunts, which he's actually going to be very successful in, because I, like a noob, after the TP, leave my weak grunts way up front. Really easy for them to get picked off by his army here. I'm sending these wolves out up top to try to scout his expansion, because if he has an expansion, that's even more bad news for me. I put my Kodo out. Now, in Orc v Orc mirrors, I don't know what's better. I'm still trying to determine if it's better to get my Kodo out or if it's better to get a Raider out first. Because of my crappy burrow placement, my building layout here, he's easily able to get a surround on my Kodo. So devouring that grunt isn't going to do very much, for me. Anyway, he casts Scroll of Speed, so as soon as he kills the Kodo, he can back off a little bit and reposition himself. Going to try to get a surround up on my Shadow Hunter, and he's actually going to be successful in it, I believe. No, he missed it. So yeah, Kodos first or Raiders first? What do you guys think? You guys can respond to this in the comments section. With Raiders first, you're going to get that early control, but if you can get Kodos out and get Scroll of Speed or something, get maybe 2 or 3 Kodos out, you can devour those Raiders, TP out, and then you've got the advantage. He doesn't have any Raiders, you have his Raiders devoured, and then you can start pumping them out, and then you're still going to have your Kodos. So if you can do that, then maybe I think Kodos are better. because by the time you get your coat out, he's probably going to have a raider out or two. You can see in this game that it was relatively close timing there. Here's another example of my insanely bad micro and failure to use alt. Now, if you don't hold alt while you're playing the games, it's a good habit to get into. I actually haven't been doing it lately, and I'm trying to get in the habit of doing it. I would be able to see all these low HP grunts. I did it this game, and I was able to get a really long-range chain lightning right there and kill off one grunt. Whoop-de-doo. Again, 2 raiders now coming out. He's going to just do a scare tactic on me, I guess, ensnaring my shadow hunter, but he's still going to back off a little bit. He's got the advantage right now. As far as he's got a lot more unit kills, he's got hero levels on me. I haven't been able to creep. I haven't been able to expand. He has been able to do all of that. Actually, he hasn't expanded yet either. Now, the decision for him to make wyverns at this point. Wyverns are, I would think, are orcs' kind of DPS unit. And versus other races, especially, I like to use them. Versus orc in the mirror, maybe not such a good idea. Since he had just a big skirmish in my base, he knows that I only have 1 bestiary, and even if I had scouted out these wyverns earlier than I actually do, I wouldn't be able to pump out the bat riders as fast as I need to. So I'm trying to scout them out. I send my wolves out again to that expansion. I'm constantly trying to ping that expansion. It's what wolves are for, you know, easy scouting. Since he doesn't have his expansion up, I'm thinking, hey, maybe I could turn this game around and get an economic advantage. I'm going to clear out my expansion and try to gain an economic advantage, and once I have that, I'm going to be able to produce more units and hopefully get a counter. It's kind of a last-ditch effort on my part. I'm really disappointed in my play during the game at this point, and I'm kind of, what do you call it, sad maybe? No, disheartened, yeah. I'm disheartened about it. So I'm putting up a second bestiary really late. I don't know what my reasoning behind that was. Definitely it was way too late to do that. Again, I'm critiquing my gameplay here. I'm going to put up an expansion here, but it looks he's going to hit it like as soon as I start building it. You'll see here in a second. I won't be able to cancel in time, so I'm going to lose all these resources. Maybe a better idea would have been to move my my wolves out and see if he was actually there before putting up that expansion. But again, hindsight, something that replays are great for. Immediately, as soon as I see him hit my expansion, I notice he had all those wyverns. So I'm finishing these raiders off, trying to get resources enough for some bats. I only get to produce 1 bat before he hits me, and it actually is going to get ensnared by his raiders. I try to stay a pretty well-mannered player in the games, just because, especially if I ever decide to do audio commentaries on my own games like this, I don't want people thinking, hey, Shark's a big jerk and blah 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 blah. Even though I probably am a big jerk. So I'm right next to my shop. I can buy stuff, but I don't have enough mana or money for it because I left all my peons burrowed up, and only like 2 of those burrows are actually doing anything, and really they're not doing that much. They're only attacking the grunts. You see my bat rider there got ensnared, so he's going to be pretty useless against the wyverns. I'm not devouring with my kodos. This replay on my end anyway is a good way of showing what not to do in New York Mirror, I guess. This is terrible building placement. You see how my bestiary and stuff is way out front. My burrow placement, although protected by my peons, doesn't really have any effect unless he pushes really far into my base, which my opponent right here is not a bad player, so he's not going to take the risk of losing his units to burrows way in the back there, when the only building he can really destroy back there is my burrows and my altar. So he's going to stay back, he's going to reposition and start attacking my bestiary, which is completely out of range for the burrows. I don't know why he backs off right now. He's got the advantage. Maybe he wants to heal up his army a little bit before hitting it up. Go ahead and pause the game. Pause the game right now. It doesn't matter. The game's over anyway. I just want to go over my building placement again, and actually over his building placement. You notice he put his B-series up really front this game. I think the only thing he probably could have done better this game is to put his B-series in the back more if he had room for it at the time. I don't know if he did or not. I should have checked that actually during the audio commentary here. But otherwise, his building placement and his base design is really, really good. You'll notice that my opponent has his burrows again near his trees, and they're in a nice uniform way where he can get all his peons in there quickly. And if I try to do any type of push with air units, with wyverns, or if I use my grunts and raiders, the only way I'd really be able to siege his base effectively, at least during that tier 2 push, would be to have